If we take the stance that a number of global proactive initiatives take to preventing crime by communicating the message that persons intent on committing fraud or corruption stand a greater opportunity of getting caught, given the actual or perceived view that this is likely to happen, then we have a greater opportunity to reduce fraud loss from internal and external resources. 4 areas that should be introduced when considering the initial design to counter procurement fraud include the insider threat and assessing the governance structures in place, including a communication strategy that informs staff and consultants that the organisation takes fraud seriously. Communication and engagement with suppliers so that they understand and support the anti-fraud culture and clarify the action their organisation takes to ensure fraud risk isn't passed on. Relationships with partners that ensure fraud risk isn't passed on, including information sharing on known and new procurement fraud risks. An environment, the design and effective use of physical structures, and the proper implementation and compliance with organisation procedures. There are common themes globally where an anti-fraud culture is limited or non-existent because of actions or attitudes within an organisation. Some of these areas include board and executive, where there is no anti-fraud message from the CEO or the board to set the tone and culture for the organisation. Although an organisation may have an anti-fraud response, if it doesn't engage and communicate with staff, partners and suppliers, it limits the development of an anti-fraud culture. Where there is no internal or external communication with staff, partners and suppliers, it may give the appearance that an organisation isn't serious about fraud risk and risk mitigation and may make it a bigger target for fraud. When an organisation doesn't have education as part of its risk mitigation, it restricts the opportunity for staff to identify and report fraud. A lack of engagement or communication with suppliers limits the opportunity for risk identification and reporting. Staff are unaware of an organisation's anti-fraud policy or do not trust the company's response when it comes to protecting a company's reputation or implementing a proper governance response to incidents of procurement fraud or corruption.